My name is Hamid. I'm an instructor at ASM Educational Center. I'm just going to continue what we covered last class. On last class, we configured a VPC. There was an Ohio region with 10.0.0.0.16. Then we created two subnet, VPC public subnet, which was 10.0.1.0, and we put an instance called web server 1. Then we created a database ASMDB private on subnet like that, and we show that these guys, web server 1, can access to internet. They can go out, and also from outside the world they can come inside. We've done that, and this acts like web servers, okay? But this PC, which is located here, this ASM database private, they cannot get access to internet. But these are the private. I don't want people from internet come inside, but I wanted these guys get outside to the what? Internet. In order to do that, I can do NAT instance or what? NAT gateway, okay? So let me show you what's the difference. NAT instance, there's two kinds. You have to install NAT instance from community AMI, which I'm going to do right now. The next thing you have to do, you have to create NAT instance and make sure disable source destination. That means when the packet comes here, it's not going to check source and destination, it just pass it through. So you have to disable that, which I'll show you that. Now when you want to create NAT instance, it has to be installed with public subnet. That means if I look at my diagram, I'm sorry about that, if I look at my diagram, in order these guys get out, you have to put NAT instance inside what? Public subnet. That's very important, okay? The next thing, it must be a route out of the private subnet and point to NAT instance. That means I have to go to here, I have a routing table for these guys. The default routing table is just, I have to make sure that in order to go 0, 0, 0, 0 in the network, they have to point to that NAT instance, okay? And then we will say you need to have a security group for NAT instance, okay? Later on, we're going to see the next one which is NAT gateway. We don't need a security group. Okay, so here for NAT security, there's no security group, okay? Then the last thing you want to do, the amount of traffic that NAT instance supports depends on the instance size, okay? Now again, you need to patch this. You need to take care of that. So this is not used that much. The next group, the next concept is what? NAT gateway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show NAT instance first, then we do NAT gateway. But before you do that, let's go back to our diagram. Let's go make sure that my web server 1 can get out to internet. So right now I go back to my console. We have right here, we have a 2 instance. If I go to my VPC right here, let me show you what we have done here so far. This is my VPC. This is from the last video. We have default VPC, which is that 700, and this is the ASM VPC, we create 10 dot blah blah and so on, okay? Now if you go back to the EC2 console right here, EC2, I have 2 running instance. One is a web server. What's IP address? 52.14.221.64, okay? And the inside is this guy. Okay, I wrote in my notes right here. So this is 52.14 that, and that's the password, which I'm going to get that, and that's that one. Now remember from last class, I did not use elastic IP address. So every time if I reboot it, oops, sorry about that, this IP address will what? Change it every time, okay? Now this is the private is 10.0.1.238. That's because according to the diagram, this is 10.0.1 is. For the other one, private was 10.0.2.0, okay? And we're going to see that right here. So this is 10.0.2.185. Now I'll come back here, I'll look at the what? This instance on the private. I'm going to see that the IP address, there's no public IP address, and this is what? 185 address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight this, connect to that, okay? I'm going to get a password. I'm going to choose the file, okay, which is right here, and I get to create the password, and this is the password right here. I'm going to go remote desktop, and this is 64 is, and I'm going to go back here, which I've done already, okay? So right now I'm connected to my right here. It's right here. This is web server 1 is, okay? So this is my thing, okay? Now I have notes again here. So this is my IP address for here, and the IP address for private is what? 10.2.0.185 is, okay? So I go back to command prompt right here. Let's see if I can ping that. Ping 10.0.2.185. So I'm pinging my what? My private PC web server, okay? And also let me see if I can go to internet, ping 8.8.8.8. I can go out to the internet, right? Or I can do what? Ping www.google.com. We've done all of these from last class, okay? Let me show you how we did this. How we did this, I put this, guys. We have a what? Security group. If I come here, see, these are my security group. When I go here, we have inbound, okay? I can have HTTP come from RDP, which are the HTTP and ICMP that, and outbound is what? Everybody go out, okay? That means inbound I have HTTP, because remember that from last class we created a web server there, and the web server was, let's go back to my public IP address. This is the public IP address, is this one. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to internet. Okay, so let me go, and I'm going to paste it here and go. So this is the web server we created from last video. Okay, so the goal is right now, let's go back again. I want to make sure that these guys get access to that. But in order to get access to this, first I did RDP here. Then from here, I'm going to RDP to this guy, because you know this has a private. I cannot RDP from here. So I gotta go from internet to it here, then from here to here. Okay. So right now I'm inside what? Okay, I'm inside that. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go start, type in here, remote desktop connection right here, okay? Then I go right click, send to what? Desktop. So I'm going to create a shortcut right here, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put IP address there, 10.0.285, connect, okay? And then I'm connected to that port right now. All right. Now you're going to see it comes up eventually. So I am connected to what? 10. Oops, sorry about that. Which one am I? Just make sure that I'm correct there. So I'm going to back here. I'm going to type in IP config. As you see, this is 10.0.285 is, okay? Now here, I am at the what? This is my internal. This is the one I have here. All right. Now if I go start, computer, right click, properties, okay? This is names. I'm going to change this name to the one we call that. And what we call this, we go back again. We call this what? ASM DB private. So let me copy this. Hopefully I can do this. Copy. Control V. Okay, very good. Hopefully we'll take that. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just what? Changing what? The PC name. So I'm rebooting that PC. I'm going to let it to reboot. So as soon as reboot, then I'm going to connect from what? Let's look at my diagram again. Again, let's not get confused. I came from internet to this guy, web server 1. From here, I'm going to RDP to here. How? Because I set up the RDP. If I go to here, I'll go back to my Amazon. Sorry about that. I'm going to Amazon right here. This is Ohio, right? I go to EC2. and I'll go to running instance, and then I go to database right here. When you come here, when I look at inbound rules, see I have what? Port 80339, that's RDPs, 443, and what? 1. That's ICMP, that's what it can be. So I already have RDP. I'm RDP into this guy. Okay? So again, I come from internet to here. Then from here, I'm going to RDP to what? That private IP address now. Okay, let's see if I can ping right now again. Okay, so I can ping 185. Then I'm going to double click that. And this is a password. So I have it. Now, how do I get this password? I got this from here. All you have to do right here. Sorry about that. You're going to go to private, right click, and then what? Connect and get the what? Choose file, choose this one, get that, decrypt, and here's my password. So this is a password I have mtz9 blah blah blah, okay? And this is the IP address, which I already have that. So I just want to show how I got those IP addresses. It's right here. So I'm going to connect to this one, then this is the IP address. Since I connected once, I'm going to connect again. Okay, so here, look at this, it got that. Okay, now let's go back here. I'm going to try to see if I can go to internet, ping www.google, well, let's say ping 8.8.8.8.8 minus t. As you see, I have no access to where? Internet. Okay, so the goal is to make sure these guys get access. Why we want access to internet? Because we want to patch it. Sometimes you have to patch these, whatever service factory. Remember that this has a what? Private IP address. Nobody can connect to here. This is in your internal network is. So in order to do that, first what we're going to do, we're going to do what? Using what? Instance. First, I gotta install NAT instance community. Then the NAT has to be what? Public subnet. This is very important. So I'm going to go back to my things, launch instance. Okay, I go back to what? Community MI right here, and I'm going to just type in NAT. I search it. I pick the first one. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick this one. I'm saying select. Let's pick the free tier. Next, configure NAT instance. Okay. Now here you gotta pick the correct VPC, which is ASM test is that one. Now here, make sure put on what? Public what? Subnet. That's very important. I put a subnet, make sure this is enabled. Then I'm going to what? Next one, add storage, right? That's the default. I'm going to leave like that. Next tag, let's say change name tag. Now here I'm going to what? NAT instance. Instance ASM configure secure group. Okay, now here look what happened. You have what? SSH. Now if you want to do a bunch of other stuff, we can do everything else like that, but let's leave it SSH. Okay, so I can create these or use one of these, RDP, all of that good stuff. Let's pick that one, doesn't matter. Okay, because that's going to just act like an instance. I'll come down again. Remember, for NAT instance, you're going to have what? Security what group? Review and launch. Warning, you will not be able to connect this instance as AMI require port 20 to be open, blah blah, to have access. Now your currently security group does not have ports to be open. Okay. Alright. Boot probe that's fine. We can put SSID next. Okay, then I'm going to say what? Launch. Again, I'm going to use what? Choose existing pair. That's that one. We have it. Launch instance. Okay, now view launch. Now right now we have what? A NAT instance ASM. So as this comes up, it's going to take a little bit of time, but let me refresh what we did so far right now. So basically what we did in this diagram, I have what? Public subnet. I create NAT instance, okay? This is private subnet. The next you want to do, you want to make sure this guy has a routing table and the private subnet is pointed to NAT instance. Then you can get out. Okay. Again, before I do that, I gotta make sure what? Disable what? Source and destination check. Why is that? Because we don't want to check it come back. We just want to pass it through. Okay. That's one thing you have to do. The next thing you have to do, remember that for exam, NAT instance must be what? In public subnet. It's very important. And also there must be a route out of the private subnet and point to what? NAT instance. Don't forget that. So that means I have to make sure these guys who has a route table pointed to what? NAT instance to get out for 000/0. Okay. So let's go back to here. Let's see what's happening. Okay. Let's refresh. Okay. Let's see what? Initializing. It's almost done. Okay. Let's go click that. Then I'm going to go action. Okay. Networking. Then I'm going to say what? Change source destination check. All right, is enabled. See, it's enabled. What you want to do, you want to what? Disable that. We don't want to check that. So disable that one, right? Let's refresh. Okay. Now when you come here, you're going to see this somewhere here. It says what? Disable. If I can find it. Somewhere it says what? Disable. Okay, that's for that one. All right. The next thing you have to do what? You gotta make sure these guys point to what? This. We gotta change the routing table for this private IP address. Okay. So what I do, I go back to what? VPC. I go back to my routing table. Remember we have routing table. We have two kinds. One is a public. Let's refresh it. This is when I go route. This is the one public people they get out into. This is IGW is to get out. Okay, that's for local. Okay. Then we had what? See, these are the RAs. These two, and this is the one that we have for private subnets, which has one subnet right here, and this one we have only what? 00 right here. Then subnet associate. This is correspond to what? Private subnet. So what I have to do, you're going to click edit, right? Then you're going to add another one. Here you're going to say what? 0.0.0.0/0 tab key. See, now you're going to put what? ASM, no, you got to put what? NAT. Don't forget you got to put what? NAT instance. Then I'm going to say save. So what does that mean? Let's refresh again. This means anything is inside this right here. Okay, see, subnet association. Let's go back to here, subnet association. This subnet, which is private subnet, is right here in diagram, right? Okay, watch this. When I look at the routing table, routes, anything 1010 network is local. That means these guys can talk to these guys, or these guys can talk to each other. These are local. But any other network, any what? Other network right here, they're gonna go out through what? These guys. And that's my what? Route is NAT instance. Okay? So let's go back to the EC2. Let's check it out. Make sure it's working good. I'll go back to it. I'm sorry about that. Let's see if this is finished. All right. So that looks good right now. Everything looks good. Okay. Now let's go check it out. Let's go back to our what? Console. Voila. See, before was not what? Ping. See that one? Now this PC ASM web server has access to where? Internet. That's what I want to see. That means I can go here, open a web browser. I can type in what? www.google. Oops, sorry about that. www.google.com. Okay. So let's close this. See, now I'm in the what? Inside what? Internet. Okay. So good job. Now it's working good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove NAT instance. Then I'm going to do what? I'm going to remove the NAT instance, right? So we're going to pause it, and I'm going to remove the NAT. As we see right now, I can ping from the private subnet to public. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove a NAT instance, then we're going to do NAT gateway, okay? So let me go back to here. Let's minimize this. This is NAT instance. I'm going to right click this, highlight that one, action, state what? Terminate. So I'm killing the what? NAT instance, okay? So yes, terminate that, okay? So I'm killing my NAT instance. If I go back to here, eventually I will see that this will die. So right now there's no internet gateway, there's no internet access from this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to go and install what? NAT gateway, okay? We're going to install where? NAT gateway. Look at our PowerPoint right here. Now I'm going to do what? NAT gateway. This is new concept, is preferred by enterprise. Stat scale automatic with 10 up to 10 gigabytes. It's important that no need to patch it. Amazon will take care of that. See, for NAT instance, you have to patch it, you gotta do all this stuff. And also you don't need to have a security group, and it will automatically assign a public IP address. Remember to update your routing table, and also no need to what? Disable these guys. Very easy. Let's look at it right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my VPC right here. Then you're going to see NAT gateway right here, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to create what? A NAT gateway. There's nothing here, okay? Now here, search for subnet, blah, 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 all that. Okay, now what you want to do, remember that you gotta pick what? Public subnet. So it's kind of hard to see it, okay? But this is what? My public subnet. Remember, these are all default, and that's private subnet. That's what's important, that you have to always name it correctly. So that's a public subnet, okay? As you see that, I click that one. Then here, you want to allocate the elastic. Since I don't have no elastic IP address, I have to say what? Create what? New elastic IP address, okay? And this is creation of elastic IP address right here. Then I'm going to say what? Create what? NAT gateway. Now look what happened. As soon as I do that, it's going to take me to what? I have to go back to my routing table and point to that one too, okay? So I go edit route table, go back to my routing table. This was my public, which was life good. This is where the people go out. This is good. I don't want that one. This is the one that we create that. This is for what? The subnet association with the private IP address. So when I go to route. Now notice that. Aha, it's a black hole. This is for what? NAT instance. So all you have to do is edit. Let's remove this because this is done. We don't need any more, right? Then I'm going to add another row. Again, I'm going to put what? 0.0.0.0/0. I put a tab key. Now you're going to see what? NAT. This is NAT gateway, NAT right here. Pretty cool, isn't it? Then you're going to see what? Save. Okay. So what does that mean? Again, any network 10.10.10, that's local. Talk to each other. Any other network, this is for which subnet? These are for subnet association to what? Private subnet. Okay, be careful. This is a private subnet. Then that goes to what? NAT gateway. And NAT gateway goes out to where? Internet. Okay, why is that? Because if I go back to my VPC and I can see that, where is my NAT gateway? Right here. I already have it. Okay, and it has IP address of what? Public IP address. Okay, and this is for what? Private IP address. Okay. All right, now let's check it out. Oops, not that one. Let's go here. Let's go here. See, now I have access to internet. How? Because I'm using what? NAT gateway. All right. So what I'm going to do, let's summarize again what we did here. Let's go back to my what? Diagram here. Okay. Originally we created what? Ohio region 10.0.0.0.116. Then we created one subnet called 10.0.1.0 as public subnet. These people he can access to internet. Then we create private subnet 10.0.2.1. These guys cannot get access to internet. Why? because they're private subnet. So in order to do that, we put NAT instance here. The next one, which we did, I removed this NAT instance, right? I removed this guy. Then I brought what? NAT gateway. The key is when you do NAT gateway, you gotta put it on where? Public what? Subnet. Then you gotta go change the routing table for this subnet and point to here and get out, okay? So let me show you quickly right here. Again, when I go to instance 2, okay, you have 2 running instance, and here we see that that's the one we just killed it, terminate that, okay? So it's all there. It takes time to get out, right? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my route table. Let's go to VPC and my what? Gateway. Okay, route table. Right now, this is what? Right here. Routes. Again, this is associated with what? Private IP. See that? Private IPs, and they get out to internet via what? This NAT gateway, okay? Now, don't forget that since we got an elastic IP address, this is elastic IP address, this is going to cost money. So what I'm going to do, we want to make sure clean this up, okay? So what we have to do, we have to what? Release these what? Address, okay? Release it. Kind of like a, you don't have permission to access this application. Okay, no problem. Don't worry about that. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to release it or what? Disassociate that. Let's disassociate it first. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to go what? Delete what? NAT gateway. Otherwise, you're going to get what? Charge money. Okay. So that will summarize our things again. And also the most important part is if you go to Google right here, if you type in difference between NAT instance and NAT gateway, you're going to see a link to Amazon right here, comparison that. I'll go open up this. And then here you're going to see what the comparison between NAT instance and that. So these are what NAT gateway does that, and these are NAT instance, okay? Again, this one NAT gateway is burst up to 10 gigabyte, but this is depends to the bandwidth or type use that. Okay, so this is what performance software is optimized by handling NAT traffic. This is why Amazon does that, okay? NAT instance, so that's AMIS, is Amazon, okay? Cost, all of that good stuff. This one is going to use choose elastic IP address. This one is going to use one of the other IP address, and so on, okay? Again, the keys, for example, NAT gateway, you're not going to use what? Any what? Security group. But this one, you have to use what? Security group, okay? And so on. So there's a comparison between these two guys if you want to read that too also. All right? Again, all of this is going to be on a website, and our website was www.asm.com. Okay, so asm.com. If you go to our page, this is our landing page for asm.com. When you come down, you're going to see our classes which we offer here. We have A+, Netto+, Security+, CompTIA, Cybersecurity, Soho classes, and other programming. Then we have Juniper and Amazon courses. Okay, here we have Amazon classes we have, which is formatted what? Daytime, evening, all of that good stuff. And also on the blogs, we have what? Bunch of what? Amazon, what? AWS. And we have a bunch of blog here. We have DNS, getting started, elastic, load balancing, all that good stuff, APs, VPC, and all the good stuff. So make sure you check our blogs, okay? Again, if you have a question, comment, give us a call back at 301-984-7400, and make sure you subscribe to our video too. Thanks so much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.